In your career, how long did it take you? How long did you study? And when did you start getting parts for movies and television?
Sure. Well, I started out. I went to school, went to college, and I did as many places as I could in college. Is what you do. And then in college, I took an elective, and there was one acting elective, and that happened to be a really good class and a good teacher. And David Wheeler was a teacher; he was a really good teacher, and he introduced me to, it was a Sanford Meisner book on acting, and I read it, and I was like, wow, this could be kind of cool. And one thing led to another, and I just started studying it, and then I was just bitten by the bug.
You loved it after that?
Yeah, then I loved it, and then I had to drop the bomb on my parents. And then I came out here in LA in 1991. I'm dating myself, and I studied. I studied the Meisner Technique at Playhouse West. Studied for a number of years. It was about 3 years, and I was one of the lucky ones. I know how lucky I am. Before I started getting sort of more work and auditioning and getting regular work. So it took me, but it was maybe in total 4 or 5 years before I started working regularly. Yeah. My poor parents who put me through, high school and college, and oh God.
Oh, that's always a fun one.
It's living truthfully under imaginary circumstances. That's what it is. That's how I was trained. I was trained Meisner, but there's many different techniques. But it really is that you're being truthful under these constraints, right. And within the life of this character, which is you, and it's always it's always within you. It's a piece of you that you're bringing to the role. Mm-hmm. So it's not something foreign. It's always coming from you, truthfully, whatever that is, because we all have it in us to have a whole spectrum of emotions and thoughts and horrible things and great things, and it's just drawing from that piece of you for that particular role.
Mm-hmm.
But it's always the truth. You always want to get at the truth.
Because as actors, that's what we try to do is invest in these roles and sort of disappear in them and hope and be moved by them individually within the confines of the scene, but hopefully having an impact on you. And that's why I got into acting is actually, we actually went to the same school. We went to a school called Playhouse West. It was just coincidence. It's a Meisner school, and that's why I got into acting, is for the truth of the lie, if you will. We're living under imaginary circumstances, but we want to be as truthful as we can there, and to connect, with another actor truthfully as we can. So if we can get that across to you and it moves you, I feel like we're connected in some way. So I don't realize that we're, as an actor, that we're just cogs in a wheel. I mean, we're just a part of telling a story, and we do our individual part, myopically through the prism of our character, to move that story along. But we're craftsmen. We're just part of a craft. And I think you're right. When you're younger, if you get swept up in sort of the industry element of it and believing your own press, it can be a little dangerous.
I mean, I love that technique because that's what got me into it, and I studied it even here, in LA when I graduated. But and then also the things we learn on set are not necessarily completely taught by any one of those techniques. So you have to adjust, to camera and to to the medium.
Well, just kind of in your technique and how you guys will find things to play with on set and find things for your characters to kind of play with.
You have to work with your environment, and it's not every prop you work with isn't necessarily scripted. So sometimes you get there a little early, you work with a prop, or you look around the room and say, "Oh, that'd be fun. That'd be interesting to hold this," or what, maybe if we do it standing up, or as opposed to so you come up with that and you work with a director and who's ever in the scene with you, so you can use your environment and use little things.
That's
like that.
so interesting. So,
and for people who think that acting is about, oh my God, I can go and pretend over here. The fact of the matter is, if lying could be good acting, then my ex would be a famous actor.
There's a lot of that, as we all know, on a series where it's just like, people wanting to sound real as opposed to being truthful.
Yes, sounding real. That's how most actors are acting now.
You can understand what the actor is thinking, and so you just make the best directors.
But it's interesting, but what I learned was that every actor, and of course, has his or her process. So it was interesting dealing with a cast in different situations.
And you've got to be sympathetic to all processes.
Oh, absolutely. At one point, I was almost like, look, just say the line.
Come on, let's go. We're losing the sign.
No, they're all amazing. They're all incredible, and
of course.
and so sweet to me. I mean, I felt like I got a little extra love, which is very nice.
People think that this is some kind of dreamland of what it means to be even a working actor, because what they see is the finished product, and that looks like, wow, what fun to be that actor. You go through mud and sludge, and not only is your family being torn apart, also your life is 17 hours a day spent on a set. And in Lost, although it looks in the 48 minutes that it airs on television, like, wow, that's really fancy. You spend 9 days in the jungle trying to figure that out, which isn't its own cup of tea either.
Because it is it's a fear-based medium. People get fired right and left. I was fired off my first sitcom as a guest star. I mean, if you don't hit the jokes at the table read, at the first rehearsal, and every rehearsal subsequent to that, your job's on the line. And so we would see people getting fired all the time. And so I'd already been fired. I don't think you had. And when we met,
I was going to get fired from that.
Well, I mean, and I was fired after that. I mean, it's just the way that business, that part of the business works. But I remember looking at you. We're about to do the table read, and I had the fear of God in my eyes, and you did too. Yeah. And I was like, finally, someone I can connect with on the set.
Yeah, because everybody else was being very. They weren't showing the fact that they were scared. They were like playing it off. It was actually, I wished I could have been like them. They were
that's cute. So you guys recognized in each other the realness.
It's the fear that attracted you.